We start with details of the press conference held by President Yoon Suk Yeol at the Yongsan Presidential Office earlier on this Thursday morning that ended a little before noon. For more on this, I have our senior correspondent Oh Soo-young standing by live. Soo-young, welcome.
Hi, Sunny.
Right, let's begin with the President's remarks on his policy direction for the remaining 3 years of his term in office. Soo-young.
Right, Sunny. So indeed, during the press conference and his message beforehand, Yoon first reflected on the past 2 years of his administration before looking forward. And given the recent defeat of his ruling People Power Party at the parliamentary election in April, he said he spent a long time ruminating on what he saw as two major failure points of his administration, first being the economy. He said that despite his best efforts to really improve the foundations of the Korean economy, the changes had not been tangible in the everyday lives of Korean citizens. Also, he acknowledged that he had really failed to communicate his policies effectively to the Korean public and engage with them. So on that front, he issued another apology. Over the past 2 years of his administration, President Yoon has focused on making more long-term structural improvements, such as increasing the competitiveness of Korean businesses, particularly in new lucrative high-tech industries such as semiconductors, as well as reforming the labour, education and pension systems, known as his three major reforms, to increase Korea's productivity by removing inefficient practices. Going forward, Yoon said that he will open up an era of supporting the middle and working classes economically and socially. Still, you made it quite clear that the direction of his policies will remain intact. The substance will remain the same, but his style of communication, though, that will change over the next 3 years.
Right. So I hear the President also spoke of setting up a ministry to address Korea's dismal birth rate. Do tell us more.
Right, that was something that was completely new in his message. President Yoon said that he would like to create a new ministry solely for the purpose of tackling the country's chronically low birth rate, which is expected to fall below 0.7 child per woman this year. That would be the lowest in the OECD as ever. And this new ministry, the minister in charge, he or she is also going to act as the Deputy Prime Minister for Social Affairs, and this would mean they would work on policies combining the fields of education, labour and welfare to create more integrated, comprehensive solutions.
Right, and moving forward, so as expected, President Yoon had to navigate through some tough questions, if I may, on sensitive domestic matters, some of which are being addressed at the National Assembly, I believe.
That's right. President Yoon was indeed asked very direct questions about the very sensitive bills being debated at the National Assembly right now, including the opposition's push to put through bills that would open up separate investigations, firstly on the death of a Marine last year, and also allegations, speculations surrounding his wife, the First Lady Kim Gon-hee, and her alleged involvement in stock manipulation, as well as her accepting a luxury handbag from a pastor in 2022. First, speaking about the probe on his wife, he apologised for her imprudent behaviour. But then on the bill, he said it was purely he indicated that it was purely a political move by the opposition party, given the fact that an investigation into the alleged stock manipulation case was already concluded without finding her guilty under the previous opposition-led government. He also spoke on the Marine Pro case, saying that the current investigation by an independent counsel must be concluded first, and if the results are found to be inadequate, then he himself would call for a special probe.
And Soo-young, one final question before you leave us. What was shared about future defense initiatives, especially involving American troops stationed here in South Korea?
Right, so there were questions about former US President Donald Trump, now the frontrunner for the Republican Party in the upcoming November race. His recent remarks insinuating that the US may withdraw its troops from South Korea if Korea doesn't pay up, basically, something that his government, when in power previously, had also been pushing for. And well, President Yoon, though, he said that he would not speculate on the future of the US electoral race. He did say that he is confident that the bilateral alliance between South Korea and the US will remain intact, and that this would, based on this, various negotiations or issues, they could be resolved amicably. He said that there is strong support for the bilateral alliance from the US Senate, House, and both the Democratic and Republican parties. And having emphasized the central role of Seoul's trilateral cooperation with Washington and Tokyo, Yoon also indicated that he will continue strengthening relations with Japan while acknowledging their historical differences. He said they need to cooperate in more elaborate ways to respond to North Korea's nuclear weapons, as well as for economic cooperation and for the interests of the global community.
I see. All right, Soo-young, thank you so much for that coverage. That was our Presidential Office correspondent Oh Soo-young reporting live from Yongsan.